What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Way Back Wednesday, and today we're looking at 2010 World decks. In our left, we have Jared Anderson playing, I think Yuta's deck, and on our right we have Kenton Anderson playing Michael Pramawat. And here we see Jared starts with a routes, and he attaches a call energy, which lets you search your deck for two basic Pokemon. And I'm going to try my best to commentate. I have the thing sped up 2 times speed, so the games will go pretty fast. This game is usually 47 minutes long, but with the 2 times speed, it should be a little bit faster. Here we see Ken's turn. He attaches an energy to his LuxChomp and a Pokemon collector. And like always, I'll have the links down below to these deck lists, and we can read about them and everything. And if you don't know about them, you can look up the decks and everything. But here we see Kenton Collector for a Uxie, Luxray, and a Crobat. Now, Kenton is playing SP deck, which was probably the most dominant deck of our format for a really long time. Here we see a Crobat come down. Crobat has Flashbite, which puts 10 damage counters on anywhere, so you see it put on the Ralts. Here we see a Mesprit, which lets you search your discard, not search your discard pile, but search your prizes and see what's prized in there. And you can take a Pokemon out of there and put them into your hand. And I think we saw Kenton get a Luxray. And we see another Uxie. Uxie's kind of like our Shaman that we're getting in the next set. It has setup, but it has 7 instead of 6. So it's a little bit better. And we'll see Ken whiff an energy for the turn. So on to Jared's turn. Here we see a Moonlight Stadium, which gives all Psychic and I think Dark Pokemon free retreat, which is pretty good. Here we see a Roseanne's, and it lets you search for a basic energy and a basic Pokemon. So we see Jared get a Psychic energy, probably put that on the routes. And probably get maybe another Ralts, maybe a Machop, because Machamp has an attack that one shots all Pokemon that are basic. And a Ken's deck, all his Pokemon are basic Pokemon, because at this time level X is a thing, and level X are still basic. So we see a Psychic Energy going to the Ralts, and Spiritomb has an ability where each player can't play item cards. So it's going to kind of slow Kenton down. But Spiritomb has an attack. I think it's called Darkness Grace. I'm 99% sure it's Darkness Grace. What am I talking about? I played Spiritomb Valgar forever. And it lets you search your deck for a next stage Pokemon. So you see him get a Curlier here. But you do 2 damage to yourself. So here we see Kenton get a Garchomp with SP Radar. I'm not really sure how he's played SP Radar. Alright, so Kenton caught it. I don't think he's allowed to play SP Radar at all. Okay, I have no idea what just happened. Oh, okay. So Kenton put the SP Radar lets you search your deck for an SP Pokemon, but you have to put a card in there. So you put a Beyblade in there. So he received Professor Oak, which is shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 6. I'm glad. I think either Jared or Kent called that. I'm not really sure. Like I said, Spiritomb does have it where each player can't play item cards. But Professor Oak lets you shuffle your deck into your hand and draw 6 cards. Really good supporter. I love it a lot. I wish it was still around. So, oh, and also Energy Gain, which is attached to the Garchomp level X, makes it where you have 1 less colorless attack, basically, or it provides a colorless attack, basically. We see Ken have nothing really in his hand, no energy still. And the way level X work in this format is the Pokemon has to be active to level up. So you see the Luxray level X in his hand, but the only way he can kind of bring it up is if he brings up this Luxray. So here we see him brings the Luxray, and the Luxray level X has an ability called Bright Look, which switches the bench Pokemon with one of the which switches the bench or the active with one of the bench. It's kind of the catcher of the format. But here we see Kid Pokemon Communication, get something for the Uxie level X. Maybe he has a switch here, which would be pretty nice, or maybe a Poke Turn. Either one of those would be really good. Here we see an Energy Gain going to the Luxray, and it's a pass from Kenton. So here we see Gardevoir come out. Now Gardevoir does have the ability to Telepass, which lets you use any supporter cards in your opponent's discard pile. So we see Jarrett uses Telepass to use Kenton's Pokemon, Professor Oak, to shuffle his hand and draw 6. This is why Gardevoir was one of the strong decks, because you just keep using your opponent's supporters while also using your own supporters. So if Jared could draw a Rare Candy Machamp and I think a Fighting Energy, I think it needs a Fighting Energy attack, he'd be in a really, really good position, but I think he whiffs that. I see the Rare Candy in his hand, and in this day age, you can automatically Rare Candy, so if Jared wants to, he can Rare Candy into a Gardevoir. Here we see a Bebe's. Yeah, Bebe's research, I think that's what it's called. It lets you search your deck for. You put a card back from your hand. You put a card from your hand onto the deck, and you search your deck for any Pokemon. And here we see you get the Mesprit to get the Claydol. Oh my goodness, Claydol, one of our best friends ever. Claydol lets you can put up to 2 cards from your hand onto the bottom of your deck and draw till you have 6. So here we see Jared put one on the bottom of the deck and draw 5 cards. Claydol, he will be missed. I know a lot of people love that card. So we see Jared does have the Machamp in his hand, but does he have the energy to actually knock it out? Here we see Machamp come down. And yes, it does need a fighting energy, but it seems like Jared did whiff it. If he did get the energy, like I said, it does have the takedown attack, which can knock down. Oh, wait, did he get it? I don't think so. I think he's using Hurricane Punch, which Hurricane Punch. Oh, I'm not exactly sure what it does. I know it's flipped 4 coins and it's something. Not the best. I think it's 20 times as many heads, or maybe 40 times as many heads, but it didn't have enough to knock out the Luxray. I know Ken and Jared did the math right. So he attached a DC to that Machamp. That's what that energy is. I couldn't tell at first. I get confused because Gardevoir's in 2 sets. And there's one with a Scramble and double DREs and stuff like that, but this is one with the DCEs and stuff like that. So we see Kenton bring up the Yuxi and evolve to Yuxi level X. Now Yuxi level X has the ability where you look at the 2 top cards, put one in your hand, put the other back on top of your deck. Really strong attack. So we see the Bronzong, but he goes for the Metal Energy. What is Kenton doing? Alright. Maybe it goes on the bottom of your deck. Okay, maybe it goes on the bottom. Kent was reading, so I'm pretty sure he knows what he's doing. So here we see Psychic Metal Energy going to the Yuxi. Yuxi does have Psychic Restore, which you do 20 and you put it on the bottom of your deck any way you want to. So here we see Cyrus. This is why SP was one of the best decks in the format. Cyrus lets you search your deck for an energy card, a SP trainer, or a card that has Team Galactic in its name, and a supporter. So here we see an Air's Collection. Air Collection, maybe search your deck for 3 energies, put them into your hand. Maybe up to 3 Pokemon and energy, put them in your hand. I could be wrong, we'll see what happens. It has been a hot minute since I played this stuff. I haven't really been practicing 2010 stuff, I've been practicing older stuff and trying to get used to that. I'm still kind of refreshed on this deck, but so we see 20 or 50. How did he do 50? I thought it only did 20. I don't know. I probably missed something there. I think he's weak to Psychic, but I don't remember. Maybe he does. I don't know. Maybe I missed something. Maybe we see a Baby's getting a Curly out, and then we see. Oh man, kind of messing up here. Okay, what do we just see? Does Kid have a Roseanne in this card? I don't know. We're all messing up here. I'm messing up here. But we see. Okay, so here we see a Claydol here. Oh, so what? Okay. So we saw Ken have a Power Spray. Now back then, if you had 3 SP Pokemon or more, you could Power Spray your opponent where you couldn't use the ability powers. And we see Ken kind of Power Spray that Claydol. We saw Jarrett kind of jump the gun real quick to use the Claydol, but luckily they can just fix it really easy. Here we see the Gardevoir come active. And I think Gardevoir does 60, and your opponent can't play any powers. I could be wrong. Let me look it up quick. That's probably, it is one of the more important things I need to look up for this game. But here we see SP Radar, which is put a card from your hand, and then look for your deck for any SP Pokemon. I'm looking up Gardevoir real quick while I'm doing this. And we see him get a Luxray, because Luxray level X is probably one of the best SPs. And Kitten's deck just revolves around Luxray and Garchomp. That's kind of how his deck works. Like I said, Luxray does have that bright look ability to bring up any Pokemon, and Garchomp level X has the ability to heal all your SP Pokemon too, which is pretty nice. So we see Professor Oak from Kenton. Still at the same time, I'm looking up Gardevoir. That's not the Gardevoir I need. Still not much from Kenton. So Psychic Lock does 60 and your opponent can play any Poke Powers. So that means no Bright Look, no Zenblade maybe? Or not Zenblade, whatever Yuxi level X is attack called. Trade Off, I think is what it's called. But you ever see a Dialga Dialga SP come up. I think that's what it is. Now I know that Dialga has 110 HP and is resistant to Psychic. Now Dialga does have a definite attack, which is it does a metal and a colors, and it does your opponent can't play any trainer cards. So, but we see just a pass from Kitten. He is kind of energy dry this game. So we see Jared does have a Dust Snore in his hand. I'm not really sure what else he has. He can't Psychic Lock for sure. And let's see, what else can he do? Jared is debating. So I guess he's... Oh, he's Cyrusing! That's what he's doing. Okay, that's what he did. I'm so sorry. So what's happening here is he's using Telepass to use Cyrus. I forgot that Kitten used Cyrus, which, like I said, search the deck for any energy card and any supporter. So here we see a Gallade come down with the... I think Jared uses the Bebes to do that. So we see the fighting energy, probably going to the Machamp. There we go. So like I said, Machamp does have the takedown attack. And Gardevoir, okay, it has Fruit Tree because of Moonlight Stadium. I'm sorry about that. And here we'll see Claydol. And Kitten doesn't have a Power Spray this turn. But like I said, Machamp does have takedown, which automatically knocks down a basic, which automatically KOs a basic. And you see Jarrett picking up his discard power. That's because he did play Mesprit. I mean the Azelf. And which, like I said earlier, does let you look at your prizes. But here we see Kitten use Luxray to bring up that Claydol. He bright looks it up because Jarrett did not Psychic Lock last turn. And we see Kitten use a Roseanne to get a Uxie, and I guess that's it. Maybe he's out of energies. I know Roseanne only gets basic energies, so that might be a problem for Kenton. Here we see a Poketurn, which is picks up one of your SP Pokemon, then he puts it back down, put 10 damage on that Guardy. See it again. And here we see a Garchomp and a Uxie to draw 6, which is pretty nice. Good job, Kenton. Alright, so what does Kenton have? Kenton needs maybe a Lightning Energy and a what's it called? An Energy Gain to actually Flash Impact. Flash Impact does 60 anywhere, but you have to do, I think, 20 your basic Pokemon. I could be wrong. I know I'm close to the exact reference. So we see a Metal Energy going to this Garchomp. And we see the Uxie, and probably just a pass from Kenton. Now, Jarrett's Claydol is stuck active. Now, how can Jarrett retreat it is the question. He has a DCE. He almost attached it to the Gallade, which kind of been a misplay. But he attaches it to Claydol, so he does have the retreat. And here we'll see another Cosmic Power. That is what Claydol's thing is called. Here we'll send up the Gallade. And Uxie is weak to Psychic. So there we see the Gardevoir kind of knock out the Uxie there. Here's the Energy Gain going to the Garchomp. Now, I think Garchomp's attack is Dragon Rush, which is 80 anywhere. But you have to discard all energies to it. Let's see if I can find out real quick what it is before he attacks with it. I did play SPs back then, so I'm not. That's why I'm not so up to date with the SP Pokemon. All right, let's see here. Dragon Rush for 3 colors does 80 damage to any Pokemon. But you have to discard all energies attached to it. Yeah, discard 2 energies attached to Garchomp, and Garchomp can't use Dragon Rush during your opponent's next turn. So it is a Garchomp C level X, but it could do 80 anywhere. So I think that's enough to knock out the Gardevoir, maybe. Yeah, Gardevoir only has 110 HP, so the Dragon Rush can knock it out. Okay, we'll take his first prize there. We see Kitten use a Roseanne to get a Lightning Energy and a Bronzong. And here we'll see a Dragon Rush. But actually knock out the Machamp. Kitten says, you're not going to use that Machamp against me anymore. Machamp is probably the smarter play. So now on to Jarrett's turn. What will Jarrett do? So we know the Garchomp can't use Dragon Rush again next turn, so he can knock out his Gardevoir, but there's a lot of stuff that can happen. We see Kent and Jarrett both have Humongous Hands. I don't think there was Lookers here, so Lookers could disrupt opponent's hand. But I know Kent doesn't want to play down Lookers. If his deck does play Lookers, I'm not sure if he does. Or maybe Team Galactic Wager, was that card out here? Not really sure. But here we see Jarrett use Cyrus to get illusions, which basically is a scramble switch as you see there. So we see the Gallade come up. I have to try to pull up Gallade real quick. I think Gallade has the potential to one-shot this Garchomp. We see Jared try to play down a supporter, but he already played illusions for the turn. I think that's what cards called, illusions. But Jared is debating. While he's debating, he's giving me plenty of time to look at what Gallade does. So Gallade does put damage counters on the defending Pokemon until it has 50 HP away from being knocked out. If you do, the opponent switches the defending Pokemon with one of his or bench Pokemon. But the thing you want to use here is Psychic Cut. Psychic Cut does 60. You may choose as many of your face down prize cards as you like. Put them face up. If you do, this attack does 60 plus 20 for each. So we see Jared just do basic 60. There's no point in knocking over the 2 cards because it's not enough to knock it out. Once you flip them over, you can't flip them over anymore. So we see you can use Yuxi's thing to look at the top 2 cards, put one on the bottom of the deck. I think it's called trade-off, like I said earlier. Let's see what happens here. Ken is down 3 prize cards. Let's see if I can look up what Lucian's does real quick. Just to make sure we know what it does. Lucian's Assignment. So move as many energy cards attached to one of your Pokemon as you like to another of your Pokemon. So that's why you kind of see him put all the energies up there. And with Moonlight Stadium, it kind of has free retreat. But the kid's going to attack one other. I think he must have retreated. Yeah, he must have retreated Energy Gain and attached DC. So they receive a Dragon Rush for 80. So Ken's slowly making a comeback here. And like I said, when he did evolve the Garchomp, it does make it where it heals all the damage from your SP Pokemon. So that's why we see the 60 get knocked off. So Ken's kind of on a roll here. And this is the power of SP. They can all of a sudden come back. This is why Garchomp Level X was one of the best cards of our time. But we see the Duskull to get the Dusknoir. Now, Dark Palm makes it where your opponent has to shuffle in one of his Pokemon into the deck until he has 3 left. Let me make sure. Dark Palm, Dusknoir. Let's see here. So we see Psychic Energy going to the Dusknoir. Maybe he wants to attack with it. Let's see. Dark Palm, once during the turn, if your opponent has 4 more bench Pokemon, you may choose one of them and shuffle that Pokemon and all cards attached to it into his or her deck. So Jared can pick one of the Pokemon, but we see Kent did have the Power Spray to get rid of the Dusknoir. Kent saying, you're not going to put one Pokemon in the deck. Kent kind of needs to just kind of switch between Garchomps and kind of win that way. Maybe bring up the Luxray when need to. But we see Kent does play the Poketurn to pick up the Crobat, so that way Jared's Dark Palm Dusknoir is kind of useless. We'll see here. So we see the DC going to the... We see a DC going to the Garchomp? Not yet. So we just see a pass from Kenton. Doesn't really have much. We see another energy going to this Dusknoir. And while he's powering up this Judge. Oh my goodness, Judge is so good. But just each player shuffle their hands, his or her hand, into the deck and draw 4 cards. Judge is always a funny card too, because whenever he's like Judge, people be like, "Oh, you're calling over Judge," but actually, in actuality, it was a trainer. So it was a supporter. It was funny to see it back then. Now the only thing is, Jared doesn't have a Gardevoir anymore. He does have a Claydol, but here we see a Night Maintenance, which is kind of like our Super Rod shuffling combination of 3 Pokemon or energy. So, I think it's 3. We'll see right here in a second. Yeah, so those 3 do go in. Does... Hold on a second. What is a fighting energy to attack? Saber Z causing power to set up. Okay, so maybe Jared's trying to get a fighting energy to do Sonic Blade. Here we see a Luxury Ball, which is search deck for any Pokemon put in your hand. Here we see a Kirlia come down. And I think you can only play 1 Luxury Ball. Like, once you play 1 down, you can't play another 1 down. Which is really good. Luxury Ball is kind of like our Master Ball of now. Let's see here. We see a war point from Jarrett. Kitten is trying to decide who to bring up. Kitten is trying to debate what to do. So he isn't going to sacrifice this this LuxChomp here. It will get knocked out from the 60. And now Jarrett only has one prize left. We'll see what happens here. And I think at the beginning I actually said that Yuta played Gardevoir, but it's actually Michael played Gardevoir. I'm sorry about that. I messed that up from the start. I'll edit that in the beginning. I kind of said that wrong. Let's see here. What does Kent have? But we saw the another, what is it called? What is that attack called? It does 60 just to knock out the LuxChomp. So now Kenton is in a weird situation. Jared only has one prize left, but can Jared even take his last prize? He does have a lot of energy on board. Here we see a luxury ball to get out of Crobat. Right now, Jared can do Psychic Cut, which does 80. If he does flip over the card, which can't knock out anybody really. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. I think Jared's going to need at least 2 turns to actually win the game. But here we see a Flashbite come down. And I think we might see a Zenblade here. Let me look up Yuxi level X real quick. A lot of cards I have to look up. Let's see. So we see an Oak from Kenton. So I think Kenton got judged last time. I mean, he had a really good hand. Zenblade does 60, and you can't use Zenblade next turn. Or maybe he might use Psychic Restore. But I think Glade is weak to Psychic. I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, there we see the knockout on the Glade. Now Kenton's down to 3 prizes. What can Jarrett do? So he does get a Gardevoir out. So now he can start telepathing and use any supporter in Kenton's discard pile. So I wonder what's... maybe Kenton use... Jarrett maybe use Cyrus. Oh man, if you guys are a mess or an Azef of Lex, I'll have to look that up real quick. I just saw it in his deck. Level X. That's what it looks like he's eyeballing right now, is the Azef level X. Azef level X is each of your psychic Pokemon has no weakness or deep balance. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon, put 1 damage counter on that Pokemon for each energy card attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So, deep balance, not that good. I guess maybe Psychic Award, just make all your Psychic Pokemon have no weakness. I don't know how good that's going to be. Jared is debating right now. So we see a Psychic Energy. And that's it. So I think right now we're going to see a Dusknoir attack this turn. I could be wrong though. What is Lucario doing on Ken's side? Does it make it where it has no weakness? I'm sorry, I'm not really that good at this stuff. I'm trying to get better. Here we see a Roseanne's from Jarrett to get a Pokemon and an energy. So we see another Psychic come down. Let's see what Lucario does. So it looks like Jarrett's actually going to Psychic Restore here. Oh, maybe not. Oh, he wants to set up first before he actually does that. Let's see here. So there we see the Lucario. That's not the Lucario I want to see. So there we see a Psychic Restore full forward because Yuxi is weak to it. And what can the turn do? I'm still trying to look at what this Lucario does. Alright, there we go. Legends Awaken. Nope. I don't even know what set that Lucario is from. But here we see Ken using trade-off. Oh, I'm silly. I've been looking up Lucarios and I have to look at the bottom. Here we go. Okay, so Lucario does apply weakness for each Pokemon body as 2 times instead. Because back then it was like some were plus 20, plus 30, and some were 2 times, but this made it where it was all 2 times weakness. But here we see Ken bring up the Garchomp, and he will Dragon Rush for 80 to knock out that Claydol. Alright, so Ken has 2 prizes left. What would Jarrett do now? Right now, Jarrett has 1 prize left, but it's kind of hard because Ken's Pokemon just keeps, the Garchomp just keeps Dragon Rushing. It looks like Ken might make a comeback. But we'll see here. Anything could happen in these kind of formats. Also, I hope you like this 2 times speed up. It does make the game go a lot faster. And if it doesn't, we'd be sitting here for 40 minutes just kind of chilling. I hope it's 2 times speed up. It seems like they're playing faster. Jared is waiting a good minute. He's trying to decide where to put the Psychic Energy at. It kind of sucks that he loaded up this Dusknoir with all these energies, and he's not even going to be able to use it. Let's see here. So we see Jared use Telepass to maybe get another Roseanne's. Or no, Cyrus. Okay, yeah. So Cyrus to get a Psychic Energy and a Roseanne's Research. And will Jared actually play the Roseanne's down? I wouldn't see why not. Jared's just going to look at Ken's Discard Pile real quick to see how many DCs are there. Because that is the thing here. Garchomp does need 3 energies. And with the energy gain, it only needs 2. So it kind of comes down to how many DCs has Kent already played. Or have used with Dragon Rush. Jared is debating. We see a Bebe Search in his hand, which can get any Pokemon out of its deck. Jared is taking a good minute. Come on, Jared. He is debating forever. And so we see a Dark Palm shuffling the Luxor, I think is what we just saw. Like I said, that is Dusknoir's ability to, if your opponent has 4 more Pokemon on their bench, you could pick one in there and put it into the deck. Alright, so let's see. Jared just played Lookers to see what's in Kenton's hand. He's just going to shuffle in there. So Looker is look at your opponent's hand, shuffle, and you pick one of the hands and shuffle in their deck until you draw 5 cards. And now let's see, what does Jared do here? I think we just see a pass from Jared, maybe? It's kind of hard to tell what's going on here. Here we see a Cyrus from Kenton to get a Lightning, an Energy Gain, and a Bebe Search. So once again, every time Jared has either Judged or Lookers, Ken has always been drawn to a good supporter. Let's see here. So we see a Lightning Energy going to the Luxray, or the Luxray. Here we see a trade-off. We see that Ken does have the Luxray level X in his hand too for next turn. And here we'll just see a 60 for knock out the Spiritomb probably. And it'll be 1-to-1 in prizes. What's going to happen here? So Ken actually used Psychic Restore, alright, to put the Spiritomb at 30. So on to Jared's turn. What is he drawing to? Jared doesn't seem that happy. Jared only has 1 prize left. Does Jared have a Psychic Energy to even attack with his Gardevoir? I think he needs a Psychic and a DCE. Once again, Jared is debating what to do. Kenton is making a comeback. It is 2-to-1. And, yeah, this is kind of weird. So here we see Lookers. And imagine we see the Kenton's hand get shuffled into the deck. Now what would Jared do? See, we see a Uxie to set up. Or we see a Psychic Energy going to the Uxie. I guess he don't need to set up. We see Expert with just 20 more damage. Here we see a Telepass to use, to see a Cyrus again. Here we see a Fighting, and that's it. So we send the Yuxi, and the Expert Belt adds 20 more HP and does 20 more damage. That's why it does 40. But when the Pokemon is knocked out with Expert Belt, it does take home a prize. So here we see an Aaron's Collection, which I think search for 3 combination of Pokemon or energies and put them to your hand, or maybe 2. I could be wrong. Let me look up Aaron's Collection real quick. Here we see a Luxray level X. He doesn't want to bring up anybody. And we see a Flashbite deactive for the knockouts, I think, or maybe a Trash Volt. The thing with level X is you can use the Pokemon attacks underneath. So here we see the Gardevoir come up to the active spot. And alright, so kind of 1-to-1 to prizes. Who will win? So we see Jarrett, I think Cyrus Conspiracies. So we see Gardevoir level X come down, and Jarrett actually wins the game. So, okay. Yeah, okay, that's pretty much it. So what Gardevoir level X does, it does bring down. For 2 psychic energies, choose one Pokemon, yours or your opponent's, with the fused HP remaining, excluding Gardevoir, and that Pokemon is knocked out. So Jarrett was kind of just sitting there and had to wait till Ken knocked out his Spiritomb. I think that's what's going to happen here. Let me rewind it just a little bit. So here we see the Spiritomb is actually the lowest HP on the field at this time. Because if Jarrett were to bring up his Gardevoir, instead of the Gallade and actually evolve into Gardevoir, he would have to bring down his own Spiritomb to knock it out. But since Ken knocked out the Spiritomb, Jarrett was able to use Bring Down and knock out one of Ken's Pokemon. I think he could knock out the Garchomp. That's what it was, because the Garchomp level X did have 70 HP left, which ties with Azelf. But if there's a tie, the person attacking can choose. So we saw the Expert Belt come in pretty clutch to actually put the Garchomp level X 70 left. And like I said, the Azelf did also have 70, but when that happens, Jarrett gets to decide which Pokemon gets knocked out. So we saw a really close game, and like I said, we'll see it again. So there's the Air Collection, get a Luxray, and Energy. So basically we kind of saw Kent kind of fall for the trap, maybe. It's hard to say what happened. You saw Jarrett, as soon as Kent didn't want a bright look and he knew he was going to knock out that Spiritomb, Jarrett kind of got happy there. So, yeah. I think Jarrett was debating what to do. He saw how much HP was left on the Garchomp. And I think at this moment Ken kind of knows he got knocked out because Jarrett was pointing out the Luxray, or the Garchomp, to show that it has 70 HP left. So we see Psychic Energy going to the Gardevoir with Ken's, well, I think he already had Psychic Energy in hand, and then we see the Bring Down to kill the Garchomp. As like I said, that was the game. It was really, really close. And again, like I said in the beginning, I think I might have mixed up the people where I said Michael played SP and Yuta played Gardevoir, but it's actually the other way around. Maybe I said it correctly the first time. I'll have to rewatch just to make sure what I said. But I hope you like this video. I hope it's not too long, and I hope if you understand SP and Gardevoir, you can actually see the matchup. It is pretty, I think it's a good matchup. It's always fun to play older decks, and we'll have more world decks too. I did record a lot of these videos, so we're good for a couple weeks now instead of seeing Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. And like I said earlier, both the links to the deck list will be down below if you want to check them out. And also, I know I didn't say this in the beginning, but sign up for the ESPN tournament bracket thing that I've been promoting all week. Hopefully you sign up, have a chance to win $100. But thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. And alrighty, see you tomorrow. Alrighty, bye.